Someone mentioned sailing, so I'm just going to sit in the voice channel till somebody shows up, and if they don't, then I'll play this for a bit, then switch over to Dune. I want to collect a bunch of copper. Now, I think I had finally collected all the materials that I needed. So this should be 1200 nitrogen, oil, a whole bunch of water, and copper. Let's have a look. What do we want to start with? Let's do the iron and copper, I guess. So we're going to follow this chain and then get to 28 or 29 copper sheet constructors. And that'll be the first input, well, I guess to the heat sinks, which is the final, almost the final product. So I need 8 foundries followed by 29 constructors. I want to leave at least 2 tiles wide for space. Copper is here. It's over here. Could pipe them over. He's got herbal diarrhea tonight. So that's coal and that. I feel like I just want to build it across here. Yeah, so I could put the copper in one end. All right, yeah, let's do that. Copper in one end, iron in the other. I need an area to do stuff. Let's do this. Wee bit bigger than I expected. No. I am never not gonna do that. Soup. Now this should fit. Almost exact. I think I'm still close enough to the electricity that I don't run into problems here. We need 8 foundries, which I think I can only fit 3 on a plot, and 29 constructors. So I should have setups for that already. I may need to switch the direction. That's I should have plenty of space to do this too. What? Why does this look so weird? What kind of graphic bug is this? Okay, sure, why not? Load? Have a look at the boundaries. So I need to switch the direction of this. It's that way, but I want it to go this way. So I actually have 4 on here, so I just need 2 of these. I don't know what that just happened. Let's get this sorted. This needs to be copper alloy ingot. This is, excuse me, this is calling for basically 60. So these belts need to be the same. 50 times 8's 400. So you're looking at a Mark IV belt. I think that does it. And I can make that work. I didn't know there was a storage built into this thing. That could be a problem. Actually, tell you the truth, it might have been a recent update save. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's definitely part of this blueprint. Let's put 2 of these down. I could easily get the both of them into this. So I want to do something like that. Like I kind of want to be able to bring that up and over, but I want to keep this. So all I have to do is pump the one belt through the top, belt through the bottom. Oh. I always leave something out of the blueprints, you know? Now we're cooking. And I have power. How did I want to do this? Yeah, I definitely feel like it has to come this way. So let's... Complete. Upgrade. Reason being that I want to be able to differentiate them a little bit from the... So I'm going to pop this up. And because of the height adjustment here, I'm going to... figure this out. Kill this. What? Does this even line up? I was like, that'd be hilarious if it didn't. Anyway, so that should be copper. I'll probably do the elevator trick here with the iron. Oh. Oh, in sync. Oh, they didn't have enough. Okay, that's fine. All right, so I got many copper ingots. 576. I'm just going to daisy chain these. So basically I need 29, 39, 45 of these. 45 assemblers. And I'm going to be snaking the copper ingots in between. Work on the testing. Yeah, my mic is acting funny. Anyway, if I don't sound good, I'm hoping somebody would mention it. Yeah, I don't think. Pipe cons. X. These are rigged. Hey, what's going on?
This is it.
So if that's going in that direction, okay, I'm going to leave it here. I might resume this later. Okay. All right. Let's see. Come back to me, BMac. All right. I think this is what I want to make. This is the output. This is the input. I can change that otherwise. I want to change the recipe though. I want it to be, okay, the first one will be copper sheet. And the other one will be Alcad aluminum sheet. Let's make this copper sheet for now. Reloading made this make more sense. Okay, so out of this foundry, I need to put 28 constructors. Which direction is this going? This way. But for these constructors, I only need 576. So what am I actually making out of this foundry? 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to want at least the output from 6, but what's it producing? Easily fitted on a Mark V belt, though. Which it already is. You said what Denmark did? Can you refresh my memory? There's so much media out there that it's so difficult to find out what's true and what isn't. If you're talking about Denmark telling the US to go fuck themselves, we're behind you 110%. Let me just have a quick search here while I hover. Go to news. Denmark's Frederiksen moves to keep Greenland out of Trump's clutches. 100%. Danish military using basically drone boats. That's good. I like that. That's a good use of tech, in my opinion. And a bunch of soccer stuff. Football, sorry. Denmark willing to invest more in Greenland. Yeah, I mean, you should. If it's a sovereignty issue, 100%. And I believe if asked, Canada would probably help because, you know, we're interested in taking care of, you know, keeping our independence. Now, I have not. No, I'm following you. I know what you meant when you typed that. My thoughts? I don't mind airing my laundry here. My thoughts on the whole thing. I understand why Russia is doing what it's doing. It's not justified in doing it, in my opinion. Basically, the cost isn't worth it. The safest and most humane thing for them to do is to do nothing and just accept it. But the truth is that, you know, an agreement was signed somewhere in the 90s, right around the time the Cold War ended, that NATO would not go any further west. And unfortunately, it did. The Ukraine got a whiff of it and said, we want the promised land. And Russia was like, hell no. Because they're basically the foothold to basically the entire ex-USSR. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's annexed, so to speak. So if Russia holds on to Ukraine, they hold a line. So they feel like they have a lot to lose by giving up on what they're doing. What they're doing is terrible. They're killing a lot of people, right? And they're trying to say that they're justified in doing it, which it's never right. And on the flip side, Ukraine wants their independence, and you know they see the benefits of say being aligned with NATO and whatnot. And you know, we shouldn't spend any time stopping them from being able to do it. The problem is that Russia's taken an impossible stance on it, and it's made the situation extremely difficult. And like I said, you have to be able to see both sides, and I can. I mean, you know, there are terrible, terrible, terrible things happening, but I can clearly understand why each side is taking the stance that they take on it. And I mean, unfortunately, I stand with Ukraine because, you know, you can't just up and decide one day that you want to take shit from people, because technically that's not fair. I'm going to have to change the direction of these splitters. I can do it in the blueprint because I haven't used it yet. And then I'll fix it that way. I'm not US, actually, Canadian. So still not untrue. I mean, we have been involved with most of the wars, the big ones. You know, Korea and Vietnam and stuff like that. Like, honestly, I'm not clear on what our involvement was in that. I would hope that we didn't have any involvement, because I don't completely understand what those wars were about. This is the thing I want to change direction. Let's sample that. Stupid. Why did I do that? I don't think any of this stuff is connected correctly now. Well, I mean, honestly, I honestly think that Trump is slipping or something. It's unfortunate that it is what it is. He's determined, and honestly, like today, he would want to create a crater where Iran is, and tomorrow he'll say, you know what, look, my bad, we're going to turn the tariffs off or whatever, we're going to have a negotiation. And then the day after that is like, listen, there are nukes on their way. And like, it just flip-flops back and forth. And I don't understand how people can't see that it is absolute lunacy. Right? And I mean, if you're not going to clearly state your intentions, how can you expect anybody to negotiate with you effectively? Right? It's just... It saddens me that this is what humanity is capable of right now. But anyway, I digress. Well, they've created a precarious situation. Sorry to take a sidebar in the middle of a video game. They've taken an impossible position. I mean, they want to, bully their way into becoming an economic... I mean, they were a serious economy, but it was very lopsided economy. And I mean, I understand why they said, well, listen, we're importing too much. We need to be able to produce. And I'm like, the last 20, 30 years have completely destroyed your ability to produce anything the world wants effectively. So they're basically in a mad dash to try and reestablish that. And I can appreciate that. Like, I mean, we're kind of in the same situation ourselves. Like Mexico and China are producing almost 80-85% of what we consume. And we used to have factories. We used to make tennis balls locally. There was a Canadian tennis ball company. Like, I mean, it was we used to do things, and then basically large companies bought them out so they could get more market share and stuff like that, and they basically fucked for all, sorry for the language, but like they fucked us out of being able to manufacture anything, and we just closed the doors. Goodbye, company. You're not important anymore. We're going to use Nike stuff. It's all produced out of Thailand and Indonesia, or China. And basically, we have no way to get back to center in a very quick way. So, I mean, it's something that we definitely need to do. It's not going to happen overnight. And now with all of this shit boiling over in Europe and North Asia, it actually the Middle East, it's fucking bonkers. I'm sorry. Like the fact that all of this stuff is happening, and on top of all of that, you have social media pouring gasoline on the fire. You have bots basically feeding all kinds of misinformation left, right, and center. And now with AI, it's helping both sides. Do you know what I mean? But I think more effectively, the people who want to cause anarchy and kind of push an agenda in one direction or another are leveraging the AI and the bot technology in a more effective way. So anybody who's on social media, like, I mean, you can develop a following and make a lot of people unhappy by doing some of the things that they're doing. And honestly, nobody pays attention to it. Honestly, I don't know if there's any way. Well, I mean, look, we're trying to hold our ground in a very difficult situation. I mean, we don't want to be offensive. It's not our brand. But at the same time, economically, we've been a mess for about 20 years, right? Like, but I think that up until about 10 years ago, we were following the same trend as the US, right? I mean, it's similar cultures-ish, without the guns and the barbecue, I guess. And we've basically pigeonholed ourselves. And over the last 8 to 10 years, the pandemic was really a coup de grace. I think every economy was maybe on shaky legs to some degree or another. And unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, they immediately had to turn around and, all of the taxation income had to turn 180 and become output because people needed a lot of things in a short period of time, like a lot of things. So that's going to massively increase your debt spending. And unfortunately, that's what got us, at the edge. And the problem is that we're so close to the edge, like trying to control a car, right? That if you tweak too hard to the left or the right, you'll actually put us in the ditch. So that's what we're doing right now. We're riding the razor's edge, trying to find a way to get some momentum in the direction that we want to go in. And unfortunately, turning to trade partners in Europe is probably the best move we've made so far. And I can't wait to start seeing the benefits of it. But internally, with the propaganda wagon and everything else that's happening on, I'm so sorry that the audio on this is going to be nothing but this shit. But, we're basically, in the middle of having our own little bun fight internally. Like basically the leader of the opposition lost his seat in our government, and he's been crying in his soup for about 2 months now, trying to find a way back in. And he managed to convince one of his conservative cronies to say, hey, listen, I don't know how I'm going to make it worth your while, but if you bow out, I know I can get voted, elected in a by-election. Yeah. I can get voted in a by-election in this obscure place and if I want to put a color to it, liberals are red, Tories are, conservatives are blue, in the bluest province possible, in probably the bluest city possible. So he's almost guaranteed to get voted back in. So then the leader of the opposition is now going to be back in the House of Parliament. So he's going to be able to, basically throw a monkey wrench in literally everything the liberals do. So if they start to take Canada in a direction that says, well, listen, we don't want to go too far in that direction, but this is the thing that we need to do. We're gonna pull out at a slightly later instance and then switch tack to something else. Well, the opposition gets in there and says, well, that was a bad idea from the start one, so we're gonna monkey with you, and they actually stop them from staying the course, like from doing the course correction that's supposed to stop us from crashing, And then it starts to crash, and they say, well, that's all the liberals' fault. And, it's just liberals versus conservatives. And everyone is so eager to paint them all with the same color. So, like, if you, agree with something that is considered a liberal policy, you're a liberal, and then you're lumped in with, 10 million other people. And, you're a piece of shit as far as this other person's concerned. And you can literally say nothing to convince them that, you do have valid input and a valid point on anything. They just completely discounted you. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And, you're watching it happen. It's like, God, and it's hard to resist using words like stupid, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. You're being called stupid because you follow the liberal policies. But at the same time, the stuff that they're getting on with is based completely on ignorance and fear, which in and of itself is stupid. So we're basically just taking turns calling each other stupid. I don't know. It's horrible. I feel like, to a degree, government reform is probably a good idea. And I think I did this in completely the wrong direction. Did I not hit save? Is that the problem? Oh, God. That wasn't supposed to happen. How embarrassing. No, I didn't hit save. And save. Yes. Now when I bring out this blueprint, it's going the rate. 8 million in Canada? You wish. It's like almost 40 million. So about 5 times that. Now, a lot of them are immigrants. And again, that's what the conservatives are jumping all over, that the immigration policy from the previous cabinet, which, we haven't had a chance to course correct on because the current cabinet has only had a parliament to change those policies for about a month. But anyway, people are very quick to leverage whatever the hell they've got on the go. At any given instant, you can safely assume that the population of Canada is approximately 10% of the US. And given the bullshit that's going on in the US with now with them, basically deporting people, their population is going to decline. But with the Bible Belt movement in the South, and it's basically a bunch of religions that don't want any birth control. So as far as they're concerned, an accidental baby is a +1 voter. So right off the bat, they locked down abortion like last year or the year before. It's crazy the stuff they're getting on with. But anyway, I think spending too much talking about that kind of stuff is a bit depressing. I'm okay to talk about it forever, but sometimes I have issues with reading the room because I find a conversation fascinating. Why is this not building? Pay no attention. Okay. I want you to start there. And then I can hit R to get this to snap. Let's get some more altitude if I can. Oh, that's ugly. Why would you allow me to do that? You almost have to eyeball it. Did I fuck that up? No, we're good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 20. Yeah, I completely respect that. I know that the English language itself carries a fair amount of arrogance, or I don't know what the correct word is, but like growing up in, and again, my father's side of the family is Portuguese. So growing up in basically Canada, it's like it's pretty much all English. It was definitely an advantage in that I understood what 99% of people that I would deal with regularly speak. I mean, if I was in the middle of Europe, it would be a bit of a nightmare for me. I would need to know at least 2, 3, 4, 5 languages to be able to deal with the people around me. You know, out of respect, if nothing else. You know what I mean? Because like every culture deserves an amount of respect, even the countries with no culture. United States of America. And I mean, it's not really their fault. They kind of inherited it from their ancestors, who probably. I'm going to flip this because I think I need 28. So I need 2 more rows of this, and then I can subtract 1. To get rid of that, I'm going to link this. I'm gonna go upstairs, my puppy. This might have been a bit stupid. The only reason that I did this is that I need, I want to bring the copper around and pipe it along this side and then loop it around and bring it back this way. But what this gets me is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 30. So right off the bat, I need to take one of these and add it to 8. One of these and add it to. Oh shit. Yeah, I just need to delete one of these. So that's 29. So I have power all through here, so at least I can fly effectively. This by far is the best tech that I've researched in the games, this hover pack. You need to go out, my puppy? Alright. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Je peux parler un peu de français aussi. You know, où savent, genre, pouco de português. Like it's, I got some language. I really should focus on it more. And honestly, it's been a minor source of shame for me that I don't know at least Portuguese. My significant other is from Quebec, so she's French. And my son is fluent in both. So, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, as a Canadian, you should know French. I know a lot of them get into their, xenophobic bullshit where they're like, oh, French is it's a dying language. And I'm like, it's not fucking dying. That language is long from disappearing. Like, you won't see any languages truly go to extinct, unless they're kind of obscure. Like, there's like that one little place on Earth where there's like 100,000 people. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of a few decades and, there might not be much of that left. But when you're looking at like French or Portuguese or English, which are distributed across the globe, it'd be almost impossible to kill them now. So when they say, "Hey, like, don't bother learning French. It's a receding language or whatever," it's bullshit. People still speak French all the time, and they will for a long time coming. All right, what I need to make here is going to be 16 aluminum alcad aluminum sheets. I need 16 assemblers. Let's see what I got for an assembler recipe here. I will say this one thing about language. I've picked up bits and pieces of Japanese. I enjoy the structure of that language. The language that I think that I would struggle the most with is probably Chinese, like Mandarin or Cantonese or something like that. I think I would struggle mightily with that. Not Hindi, but like Indian. Honestly, there's probably about a dozen different dialects. I don't know anything about the culture. But yeah, like the sounds, the intonations, the way the words are shaped and stuff like. I would struggle mightily to learn any amount of that. Would it be impossible? No. Do I have the inclination or the desire to do it right now? Hell no. I have so many other things I'd rather be doing. But I can appreciate that the world is diverse and that, there's going to be differences. One of the biggest problems we have right now is that we just did the G7 in Kananaskis, and they brought in the I think it's the Prime Minister of India, maybe it's the President, Modi. The problem is that we have not huge, but we have a significant Sikh population here. And I honestly, I believe I learned a little bit about it in social studies in grade 8 or grade 9. Right? They talked about Sikhs and, the ceremonial daggers and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool. You better learn Danish. If I had to pick a Nordic language, I could be wrong there. Is that Danish is considered Nordic, right? There's a lot of umlauts and, letters with slashes through it and stuff like that. I mean, you basically put some in the chat earlier. What was it? The name of where you were from. Ugh, it scrolled past. Anyway. I would be interested in learning a little bit of Danish. Not opposed to that at all. This is a constructor. Let's load. Cheapy Weepy 2. Made assemblers. Now, what are you making? Nope, not gonna guess. Alcad aluminum sheets. That one. Copper ingots and aluminum ingots. Absolutely. I'm going to struggle mightily if you start speaking Danish. I'm okay with copying and pasting into a translator, like a Google Translate or something like that, and trying to get the gist of what you're saying. But my response is almost guaranteed to be in English. Unfortunately, it's my native language, so like mental processing and everything is so much faster and more efficient if I use that language. I remember a long time ago, I won't say that everyone is fluent in English. If you go to Quebec here in Canada, like if you ever have the chance to go there, beautiful, beautiful province. You'll find that there is a large portion of the population that do not speak a word of English, and honestly, do not understand it. And I have to hand it to them, to be in a country like Canada, which is predominantly English, and to have all of the media that's produced in a dozen provinces and territories, all in English, to be able to set up. They are here, but that's the power of the internet. Like if as you grow up, you're hooked into YouTube or whatever, then you're like 2 or 3 years old, 5 years old, stuff like that. Your brain is so elastic. You can absorb so much information. You're almost inundated with it. Like it's you're almost indoctrinated in English. And I can understand how that causes resentment for some cultures and everything like that, because they can view it as like the little death of their own cultures. Like, why aren't you learning our native language? We're so rich in culture, and like, you know, it's important that you understand the sentiments of your grandparents, your grandparents, and everything like that. And I can understand how that causes a lot of friction. But yeah, I mean, you know, the natural way of things is that language is everywhere. Yeah, 32. I wish I could be 32 again. That was so long ago. Yeah, it feels like it was so long ago. What am I doing here? This is ArcCAD sheets. Yeah, honestly, you can't discount schools. Honestly, I'm a huge advocate for free education. I think in order to go to a grade school, I mean, you if you look at, if you're xenophobic and you're Canadian, I guess, you'll frown on immigration, like just in general. It's a lot of people from very different cultures, where things might not have been as accessible as they are here. And when they arrive, they immediately hook into pretty much everything. Yep. I'm assuming sec is seconds. You need a minute. I'm going to follow this guy. Okay. Do I want that in that direction? I think I kind of do, but I want the one underneath to go... I want the one above to go in the opposite direction. Or maybe I don't. I'm going to have to leave a gap. I'm going to save this. This is good. No. Why would I do that? No, stop. Save? Sure. Ah. When you say WC, do you actually mean bathroom? Because that sounds very British. We in English, typically when we're playing games and stuff like that, if this is a bathroom break, we use bio, B-I-O, to mean like biological break. It aligns with a lot of romantic languages, so Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, English, French. So you say biologique in French is biological. Like they have the same root words. And I think that's what I struggle with the most with other deeper cultures, like the entire Chinese alphabet. You can't even call it an alphabet, pictogram. It's so diverse and complex. I'm sure once you get into it, you know, you can suss it out and figure out a way around it, because people do it all the time. I watched a lot of videos over the pandemic. Some people will groan. Of a guy who basically learned Cantonese or Mandarin, I can't remember which, and he would go to a restaurant or whatever in China and or some area around, and sit down, and like he's Caucasian, like white, So, you know, they would approach him a certain way. Like sometimes they would just start with English right away. And then he'd immediately turn to them and order in almost perfect Cantonese off of the menu. And then they'd be immediately put off. Like, why did you take the time to learn? This is unexpected. And I really appreciate that surprise. Because it's a happy surprise. Someone has taken an interest in your culture, and you know, has really made an effort to try and learn some of it. I tell you what, though, I've been looking for an excuse to flash up Duolingo. I may throw Danish onto the thing, just for curiosity. It's going to be a slow process. I have a very old plastic brain. It's very hard for me, much more difficult than I care to admit, to learn new things. Old dog, new tricks. But, you know, I'd be willing to try for science, you know. Let's see. I want that to line up. Because that's the merger. I want it this way. Okay, I need that. Yeah, I want it that way. And I want it to start there. So I have enough space to feed the aluminum through the middle here. And I need 16 of these, so I'll have to put down 4. And then I'm just going to do the same thing where I loop it around. It's probably not the most efficient thing. But what I'll do is I'll flip that 180 and stick it almost back to back. Does this make sense? I feel like this doesn't make sense. Should they not line up? Are they not symmetrical? Can I do that? Why are they not centered? I think they are. Why wouldn't these be lined up, I wonder? Let's just have a look here. This shit in the middle of the screen, I'm pointing at it like you can see. Cheapy Weepy 2, build, default, auto connect, and this list of parts is just in the fucking way. I would love to turn that off. I feel like that's too far. It's actually... Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. I don't need to make it that close. You know what? I'm gonna push it all the way back here. I know it's a waste of space. God, I hope I did that right. Wasn't it loading? There we go. Let's power this up. Oh, come on. Just upgrade these. I should have done this in the blueprint. Listen, I appreciate that more than you could possibly imagine. I'm a bit of a, yes, lone wolf. Like, I kind of do my own thing, and I often encounter problems where people are like, I don't understand what he's getting on with. And I'm like, that's all I ask. But I mean, it costs you nothing to be open-minded. It's fine. I mean, like, my brain is built to try and figure out, I don't know why, figure out the context and meaning of things and the meaning of things from context. So I'm very slowly realizing that I have an aptitude to do this that's not in alignment with a significant number of other people. And I can't figure out... oops, did I do that right? I did not do that right. Yeah, and you probably won't remember half of this tomorrow. Like, you know, I'll just put it here, watch the VOD. You didn't embarrass yourself. You were great. I appreciated your conversation very much. Because at the best of times, I love to talk. And if someone is willing to talk, I'll talk about anything. Alright, that gives me space. Need more. I don't need more of this. I put down 4 of these. So that's 16. I gotta mark these off. So I need to make the aluminum for that. So I guess that's what I'll do next. I made that. Oh. Alright, so the output from both of those can be fed into 13 more assemblers. So that's 16. So I guess the output from this is here. Or at least up this middle. Yeah, and I appreciate that, or Arrow. I really do. I guess, well, what's happening here? I feel like... Oh, this is backwards, though. Oh. I can connect these two. And then have the 2 inputs here to feed into a band of 13 assemblers. I appreciate the sentiment for subbing. Subbing doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not a partner. Honestly, though, like, I mean, meeting new people and having great conversations and, you know, watching some video game BS, like, it's, to me, that's all I ever wanted. I never wanted any more than that. So whenever it happens, I appreciate it a lot. I'm just a crazy fool playing games. Here, I'm going to leave some space here. I kind of want this to line up in a way. The edge of this. If I do that, oh, it likes it. Okay, well. Huh? I think I made a mistake. No, it makes sense. Flattery will get you everywhere, hero. Alright, do I want to just put this in a line? Because I think I can fit this next one right there. And that's 12, and I think I have to add one more and downclock it. Because it'd be a hassle to bring it here. Wait, which way do these go? Oh, but they go into this, so there is an opportunity to put these back to back. So I can do something silly like this. Yeah. I think what I would want to do is... do it there. Does that work? That is level. And then they did a thing, like they've done some updates for this game. They recently added a new build mode called Curve, and whatever changes they made, they basically screwed with the formula for this one, which is called Straight, which does everything at right angles. I'll be there and do that. Well, all is forgiven, I guess. That's not what I want. I need to move this out further. Nope. This one. Yeah. And this bottom one is going to be this, which I think it actually needs to be faster. Me? No, you know, in a way, yes, but like, I feel better about being live. So I have these daisy chained together to join the... Missing in here. Alright, so that's all done up. I just need to feed the stuff into this side, and then... Oh, I didn't fix this, did I? I think this is supposed to be heatsink. These... I haven't had the pleasure of playing Rust. Maybe briefly. Maybe I was watching somebody else's playthrough. I do have some mental images of it. But no. The answer is no. Recently, though, like about a few months ago, maybe a month ago, we were playing Scum, which is in the vein, you know, inspired by. Whereas we ran into a lot of ex-Rust players playing Scum. I have a bunch of VODs of me playing Scum. The question is, do I want to overclock one of these or put in the 13th assembler? Oh, stop that. Oh, I see what's happening here. I need power. Oh. Oh, really? I was playing Scum when you popped in? Wow, that's... I met a good crew for that, too. That's not at all what I wanted. Yeah, my only regret for that is that we didn't try harder. Oh shit. We didn't try harder to do the PvP aspect of it. We drove through some of the zones and stuff, but like, I mean, it was a half-assed effort. So I think I have that. What do you need? 75, 20, you know, it's great. Oh, stop that. Why? And of course I didn't connect any of this. What are you producing? 7.5, great. No one in their life ever wanted that like that. Oh yes, I remember this now. Yeah, I mean, we were trying to pick the lock on one of the bunkers. I think we were excited. We wanted to play the game. We just didn't completely I didn't completely understand how the game worked. Basically, which way do I want these to come out? We really have no choice. They have to come out that way. Okay, well, done. That's the output connected. This one, I believe we're going to want to bring down this way. Yes, and then we bring that one up a level. I think. I'm going to have to examine the you know what? I'm not going to overthink this. Here we go. So this should be making alkyd aluminum, and these will be making sheets, and then all of, well, look how many sheets though. Not as much as I think. Yeah, and you know, we stubbornly tried to do it anyway. Sadly. 480, 288, 196. Okay, well, you know, Mark 4 and Mark 5 belts will work for this. What are you using here? Silica and aluminum scrap. I don't like that recipe. So the aluminum sheets should be on a Mark 4 belt. So let's at least fix that. Are these inputs? Is the input? How much input do they need? 576 to make sheets. So the input should be Mark 5 belts. Mixing one. And I have to say, Scum was a lot of fun. I think the one thing that really didn't do us any favors with Scum is, wait, what? No. No. I'm so glad I didn't turn that on. The output is here. So what is the output of this guy? Sheets is going to be 288, which I guess is a Mark IV belt. Let's upgrade all of that. May have made this too close. Let's rethink that. This I would do that with. This I would do this with. This would come this way. Then that means that this all needs to be whatever belt this is. $500 is a rookie. I can guarantee you there are far more people who have less than 500 hours on that game. And honestly, I don't think I have that much. Not that I really seriously, took it seriously. Okay. That's copper. Beats. I have made a huge mistake. Oh, this is Mark IV, so this could be carrying 288. Please tell me I have this configured correctly. This should be Alcad, right? No, this is the heatsink. This should be Alcad. Let's see how much aluminum we're dealing with here. That's 480 aluminum, so the output from this needs to be a Mark IV. Oh, none of these are connected. How good. Okay. So the input to this, though, is what? Aluminum ingot and I've made a huge mistake. So I get the impression that, the modding community for Rust was pretty intense. I have the outputs from these done properly. You are putting out these. I have to do all of my aluminum processing I'll probably do that here and then pipe it back and feed it into this. But I have none of this facing the right direction. But I could bring the aluminum in and bring it up here. What else does this need? Copper ingots. Oh. So this is the copper ingots. So this will need to... So this will start producing copper sheets. Like a lot of copper sheets. And then the output from this is copper ingots, which will have to be an input to that. So I think for science, do something stupid like that. And hopefully this doesn't flip too badly. So then the copper leftovers will come into this, which means I just need to feed aluminum ingots right here, so I can bring them this way. How many, though? 480 aluminum ingots. 480 aluminum ingots. So I would need a Mark IV belt. Alright, so I need to hook up aluminum bars to this. It's one of the games you know people is gonna play. Some games have barriers for me. If I had just gotten the inclination that, hey, I want to stream something. Okay, well, Rust is out then. Because I am gainfully employed for the foreseeable future. This game is so pretty. I mean, look at those gigantic trees. And we got the desert-ish biome over there. The pink nightmare. That is hell in there. It's absolute hell. And then we've got basically, you know, Scotland. That's just atmosphere. You can't go over there. I'm going to start getting distracted now. So, alright, we got the aluminum sheets. And they're being fed into whatever the hell this is. Aluminum sheets. I'm going to have to feed in the aluminum, which is coming out of here. And I only have one of the two inputs for that. This is all connected. Great. The only thing I don't have is a... What? Oh, I'm sorry. What do I have this connected to? But that's... Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I understand what the problem is here. Alcat aluminum sheets. It's going to be 480. It's 1-to-1. So this should be a Mark IV. So I basically need to update all of this. There, done. That also means that whatever the hell I'm hooking into this needs to wrap all the way around. I'm going to need 480 aluminum ingots. So this will need to be a Mark IV as well. Hey, I got a question for you. What's your favorite TV show? It could be one growing up that isn't on TV anymore. Is this a Mark IV? Why is this Mark V? Why? This is the aluminum sheets? That's making Alcad. Alcad aluminum sheets. 480 of these, 180 copper ingots. Oh, I made this all 5 because... Do I really need to do that? I really don't think I do. Whatever's producing copper sheets needs a Mark V belt. Pretty much everything after that is a Mark IV belt. No, I'm back to... I'm starting to be useless here. My brain is turning into mush. Not that it wasn't mushy before, I suppose. Oh, you liked Baki? I'm pretty sure that was a North American, and I'm using air quotes here, anime. I don't think that was Japanese at all. Well, I suppose anime is anime now, so regardless of where it comes from. But, yeah, I watched the first and second season of Baki. That was pretty good. House MD was pretty good, too. House is kind of my spirit animal. I really enjoy his particular brand of bile. So this is aluminum ingots at 4, so this should be a Mark IV, which means this should wrap around. All the way around. Pretty sure this is still aluminum. Get the fatter belt here. Regardless of what I do here, I'm going to miss something and have to fix it later. That I'm going to get rid of. All of this should... Oh, this isn't... This is powered. So I have copper sheets going everywhere. Oh, House MD? Easily. That show will stand the test of time. I find that tech shows don't age very well. The technology changes, you know, they use terms like hacker and stuff, and it just doesn't hold water these days. So I need to create aluminum to feed in here. Once I have that, that'll go through and make all of the heat sinks. So I think at this point, the output from this the alcad aluminum sheets, rather, will be into this, and then these become the output here. What are you producing? 7.5 heat sinks. This should be a Mark II belt. Okay. I have that. I have that. I have that. I could take the quartz and make silica. Then I have to take the aluminum scrap. So let's make aluminum scrap first. And then I guess what I can do is, because the quartz is here, I can bring this up and make the silica somewhere along here. But I think that basically ensures... Where's the aluminum? That's copper. So the aluminum is over here. The aluminum is there. The water is there. And I'm going to need the coal. But the coal is a follow-on. The 480 bauxite and 480 water into 4 refineries. That's it. So I could put the 4 refineries here. What does that give me? That gives me... Oops. Sorry. I need the coal and the alumina solution. So this is the entry point. I need 4 refineries to make silica. And the alumina solution. This is fucking me up here. Let's do this. I'm going to make 4 of these, and that feeds into 2. And this is where I get to do my tutorial. I told people that I would do one. Let's see what our blueprint for refinerinos looks like. Well, that's 4. Because I left space, this might actually be easier than I thought. Or not. I need bauxite and water. Producing 2 things. Let's work on this recipe a bit. Yes? Explain. I've determined to make my mark as a satisfactory guru. And because of my background in engineering and a healthy dose of common sense, if the game is done in any sensible way, you should be able to sort it out. I'm just gonna hit save on that for giggles. Bring in refinerinos. Stop it. I understand. I understand. Just want this here so that I have some capability of. Oh. This might be asking too much. Okay, I don't have to worry about falling down now. I can see your message. I can see the multicolored mushroom head banging, and then Eero says yes. Question mark. And then, can you see my message? Yes, I can. I'm getting tired. That's probably the problem we're having here. I don't want to go up. I want to go down. See, even my fingers are revolting. Which recipe is this? Alumina solution. Seriously? I think it has to be sloppy alumina. It says alumina solution. Oh, it wants 50% more water. I picked the wrong recipe. That makes sense. There you go. Okay, your bot. So bauxite and water. I'm assuming this is the input, so I'm gonna have to do a splitter here if I want bauxite to make sense. And for those who don't know, bauxite is the ore version of, in reality, aluminum. Did I do this correctly? Indubitably. I need at least 200. I'll go with. Autobot? Oh, yeah, I think I know what you mean. Give me 1 second. No, I okay. I understand what's happened. I have my auto mod on, and the reason for that is that I have unfortunately had an anarchist or two. Oh yeah, everything that you're saying that doesn't have like FK or FUCK or shit or, you know, some swear word or something in it won't show up. And the reason is that I can't pay attention to the chat 24/7. And unfortunately, a few months ago, I had somebody come in and they literally spent 15 minutes swearing and saying the most racist shit that I have ever witnessed in person. And I was like, wow, like, you know, you do what you want to do with your spare time, but man, if this is the best option that you've selected, So anyway, I had to turn on auto mod. You can say anything you want. I have all of your messages here. It's headbanging. Yes. Can you see my message? Okay, your bot, Autobot. I can't say anything. You can. It's just probably don't use the curse words. I tell you what. You're the only one messaging me right now. I'll just switch over to Twitch. So I can see what you write. It's just it's not going to show up on the chat. So no fucking do what you got to do, man. Yeah, I get that. And then I said fuck and you can't see it. Yes, this is true. I would turn that off if I trusted people more. You're fine. I just can't trust that somebody else won't come in and decide to, you know, be a bit of a dicky bird about stuff. So that's going to be 120 bauxite in. That needs to be Mark II belts. This will have to be Mark IV. On the outputs, I'm going to have 120, so I'm going to need a Mark II pipe and a Mark III belt for silica. That works. This needs to be a Mark II. Turn it off? No, I can see what you're saying now. I can't turn it off. You have been an absolute delight. Thank you for being here. But I can't turn it off because of the others. I also have it sniffing for bot traffic. That's the real reason I don't want to turn it off. I've had a rash of people jump in and basically try and promote stellar views and boost your views and all of that kind of stuff, and I don't want them to have oxygen. So I basically gimp them so that they can't affect me. I don't want their crap. They just need to stop, you know. Whoops. Yeah, it's the same amount of fluid basically in both sides. 180 times, oh no. 180 times 4 is a lot more than this pipe can hold. Be 720. I think I have 2 pipes here, but I'll have to connect them back to back. So what I'll do is I'll leave this connected, but I'll bring in 1 pipe to this side and the other pipe to the other side. What am I scared of? You know what? You have a very good point. You have an extremely good point. If I really want to, I can just ban people. Show mods actions, etc. How do I turn off auto mod? Do I not control it in here? Sorry. I don't want the bullying, disability, sexuality, sex, gender, misogyny, swearing. There we go. No. Save. Test it out. Swear away, sir. I don't mind the swearing. I just want the racist, sexist, religious bullshit turned off. No. Maybe it'll pick up on that. There you go. It's working. Let your inner cursing demon out. What does Nemelig mean? And is it Nemelig? Or is it Nemelige? Or Nemeli? You're going to make me search this now. Does not accept. Oh, you're saying that it's notifying you that it's not accepting the language? Anyway, this is a little bit of an education for me. I'm all good. You're never too old to learn. I think I have this done correctly. Yes. Let's save blueprint. Yeah. So I only need to place one unit of these. The water is right here, so I can just plug that directly into it. But then I'll need to bring the aluminum down and plug it into that. So I think the 4 of them can go here. Yeah. No, it won't show you. It won't show me what you typed before. Like, I can see it. Like, even with the auto mod on, it'll hide it so that it doesn't show up in my chat. But it still says, hey, no fucking do what you gotta do, man. And it says, hey, do you want to allow it? And I have to click yes. So if I want it to appear, I can just click yes. But I turn the auto mod off, so now I don't have that option either. Speak freely. Try swearing. It shut me down. What do you mean shut you down? It auto-banned you? Or timed you out? Do I gotta screw with these settings again? Shield mode off. Well, that's good, I guess. And of course, it's gonna open the wrong damn window. Stop banned users from viewing your stream. Follow only users. I turn that off. Moderator tools on. Pin message. Chat rules. Banned chatter. Auto mod rule sets. That's not it. Chat rules unbanned. I don't know. It's not showing me the same options that I had a second ago. Block terms and phrases, permitted terms and phrases. Don't know. You know what? It's beyond me. Whoops. It's beyond me to mess with that right now. That's what I thought. Yeah. I have 5 of those. I need to plug the aluminum and the water into it. But the downside is I need to get 720 water through there. What do I need the water for? Oh, I need 240 water for the blender. I think I separated those. So I have 480 water, which I can plug directly into that, and then I can feed the other side of it back around to the other side. Yeah, okay. So basically this fat pipe, not that one, this fat pipe, I can feed into the refinerinos. That's the output. That's not going to be happy. Just line this up. That's all I really want. There. Not terrible. Well, what am I playing right now? This is called Satisfactory. And it is very satisfying. I'm hoping to finish this. Like I'm pretty close. You can see up there it says complete phase 4. Once I'm making these items, including the compression cube, that's not nuclear pasta, is it? Anyway, once I'm making these and I get it, there's shit, sorry. There's phase 5, and I have to make even more complicated things. So this factory is still about half the size it's going to be when I'm done, and all it's making is 48 per minute cooling components, which is the last item I need for particle enrichment. If you look in the upper right. So I'll need to get the water into this. And then the aluminum. I feel like I want to elevate this. Sense. Doesn't. Why did they not line up? Okay, very much follows it. Then I need this. Let's bring this. Oh, but I'm gonna have to. I don't think I need to jump that over. But... I'm not, as you can see, I'm not good at them either. Let's... This is not what I want. What did I anticipate doing with this here? Yeah, I can bring the water down and have it plugged directly into that. That's it. Power. that's taking all of the water. And then whatever I do next will feed back into it. Oops. So I need to put 2 more refineries, and their outputs will connect to that. Like this aluminum scrap. It's only putting out aluminum scrap, I guess. And then into some foundries. But I would want that going left. And then put the foundry here, I guess. What's the other input here? This has to be bauxite, right? Yeah. So I need to get my 480 bauxite into this. That I may want to do. Teach you how to play this game? The thing about playing single player is you have to have the predisposition for it. I enjoy it because I don't mind talking into dead space and you know, just basically giving you a stream of consciousness. It's like what I'm thinking, I'm saying. That helps a lot. Having someone else to bounce ideas off of, like yourself, is good too. But this game, I mean, I'm so late for you to catch up on how this works. You're basically an explorer hired by a company called Fix It. It's a bit of satire in that it's a big business corporation. Your well-being only goes so far as the needs of the corporation. So, you know, be careful, but, you know, if you get scrubbed, then, you know, they're okay with it. So you're basically here to try and harvest as many resources and stuff. And, like, this is the map. And, I mean, honestly, this is showing only the area that I've been. There's so much more map here that we haven't really gotten into yet. Like, there's a whole desert area up here full of uranium. How do I do this? Okay, yeah. There's a whole area up here that's uranium. Because there's nuclear power in this. But I basically started in this area right here where the space elevator is. And I kind of grabbed some iron, some copper, and I made some things, and I made some more things. And then I started making big roads all over the place. So, like, I'll hide this now. And this map will show you what I've built. So these are all my factories, like these blue smudge areas. Like, where's the biggest factory that I've ever done? I made a really big one over here. I did this the last 2 nights. And basically what it's producing is all of the fundamental components. So just without having to really know what they are or whatever, it'll kind of make it should make a little bit of sense. Steel plates, iron rods, copper wire, like fundamental, what I would call fundamental discrete components for making more complicated things. This is the type of thing that one of the real benefits of playing a game like this single player is that you can log in and play it for 5 minutes and then shut it off, and you hit save and your progress is saved. You don't have to wait for other people to log on. You don't have to make sure you have the right party composition. You don't have to do things at the right time and everything. You just log on, say, hey, listen, I just want to run the pipes for this, and then I think I'm good. If I have more time, I'll keep playing. You can start and stop as many times as you want. It's a very friendly game for that. I'm going to put another one of these and kill 2 of them, but I'm going to reverse them. Blueprints. Let's do refinerinos. So these were outputs or inputs. Yeah. So I want the outputs. I think that's it. Yeah, I want the outputs here. Why are you not behaving? Are you serious? There's no friggin' way that that's what you want. Yeah. So the downside is, let me... Because this is output. This is input. So what am I inputting to this? The output of that. So I would do something like that. And then I get the output of this as the input of this. This is just me cleaning this up. I'm going to leave that there because it doesn't interfere with anything, but it does look a little odd that that kind of sticks out the side. What are you producing for an output? 220? Yeah. Oh, I haven't changed the recipe. Scrap. So alumina solution and coal. I don't want to copy. Copy, paste. So now what are you putting in? 240 water. Having a bigger pipe is not necessarily the right. So here's the deal. These guys need 720 water. The problem is I'm only getting 480 from this side, which allows me to talk to 360 with 120 left over. But I need a little bit of extra. But I have 240 coming from here, so the 180 goes in there, and the 60 and the 120 make 180 to go in here. So the reason being that I don't think anything would have to come this way. So in order to ensure that the liquids flow in the direction that you want them to, you would put a valve here. And because I only want water going in this direction, then I put the valve here. That means that the water coming out of here will only ever go this way, if it ever does. So these pipes will fill up, and then we'll be getting 120 or whatever the maximum is. Oh, I do have it all in control. Maybe. So the thing is, what's coming here should be the valve. Because that's 360, this will be the extra. So this should be valve. And what that means is that the 240 coming from here goes into this junction. And the 120 extra that's coming out of here goes in here. So that gives me 360. So between these two outputs, I have 360, and they both need 180. Everything is balanced. And that will be the end of my tutorial. A similar thing is that if I'm pulling more water from this, then the water will be used here. I won't be able to exhaust this. And if this fills up, I stop producing aluminum because it has nowhere to put it. So I can't have that happen. I need everything coming out of here to be exhausted at a minimum rate, which is 240. And this is insured to happen because I have a demand for 720, but I'm only providing 480. Now, if I had more than 480 coming through here, I'd probably put a valve here and limit it to 480 to make sure that that slack of 240 is always there so that I can keep exhausting this pipe. But anyway, a lot of talking. Science and engineering. Fun. Hand wave. Picked up a new vodka. It's called Blue Lobster. It's a Canadian product. It's a little smoother than the other Canadian version that I was drinking. Vodka is essentially pure alcohol. There's almost no flavor profile to it whatsoever. I'm a little disappointed that there isn't more variety to it because I'm a bit of a Scotch fan. I do like the dynamic flavoring that you have. The various Scotches, you know, can taste extremely different. A little sip of coffee here. Can be very different from Scotch to Scotch. So I don't have this powered up though. Power. And there's literally nothing to connect that to. Yeah, I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch. And as soon as I can get like 2 more followers, I think, on Facebook, I'll be streaming to that platform at the same time too. I have several friends who would probably watch the YouTube feed if it was available, but about 6 or 8 months ago, Facebook changed their rules. And you cannot stream live to a YouTube account unless you have at least 100 people following, which I think is a pile of bullshit on their part. You know, the dicky birds. Let's do that. So again, the alumina solution will be produced in here, and the alumina solution will be siphoned through here along with some carbon, coal, to turn it into aluminum scrap and, you know, water byproduct. And then the water byproduct comes out here and gets fed back into the machine, making the alumina solution. They should have made more recipes that work this way, in my opinion. So this is making 720 aluminum scrap, which pretty much guarantees a Mark V belt. Why is that going in that direction, you might ask? That is a very good question. Probably going to want it to go to the right. No one ever in their life. That's incredible. That's awesome. Well, you might ask yourself, why would you do that twice? Okay. Do you stream or wait? Do you have a commercial account? Like, is it a page? That's an important differentiation to make there. So I have that handled. This guy is looking for 120. These should be Mark II belts. Perfect. All right, and they're powered up. But why are they not working? Oh, I don't have the bauxite connected. Best way to do this now. The bauxite could... I think I just want it to follow along. And then I might do a rise and fall just to get it across this. Let's do that. No, stop that. This might be... My biggest pet peeve is that the game doesn't... it's not even really a big pet peeve. Be this way. Do... Why? To do it this way. Want to be kind of out of... Should be able to... Wow. Let's just put this back the way it was. If I can get this to work in any shape, way, or form, that would be... That is somewhat unacceptable. Move it out a tiny bit more. I kind of don't want to. How am I going to get that to attach? I think I may have my own question. Easily. Now, what can I... This is gonna suck. Can't have it snap to that. So I want that. Come on. Trying to get this to... Can I get this to attach? Because that would be ideal. Well, now that I have the correct ending for this one, I might be able to get it to work. Oh. Okay, well, that made sense. Not really. A lot of my builds have this shenanigans associated with it. So you are now creating silica and alumina solution. I am going to reverse the output from this because I need it for something else. Oh, that's fine. Never really bothered me much at all. I'm going to tell you, my brain is deciding to revolt right now. But what I can tell you is this particular setup is turning bauxite and water into alumina solution, which is basically liquid aluminum, and silica, which I need for something else later. And I'm taking that alumina solution, which is this white stuff, and I'm putting it into these two refineries to turn it, basically to turn the alumina solution back into aluminum scrap, which I can then basically stick in a foundry to form into ingots, basically melt it and purify it. But one of the outputs from the alumina solution is once they take the aluminum out of it, you're left with the original water, or at least a little bit of it. So I have to pipe that back into this. And you can see how this gauge isn't as big as that gauge. That basically tells you that there's more water or volume in this pipe than there is over here. And because of the valving that we're doing, this pipe will be constantly exhausted, basically empty. And this one will be stogged because we're not consuming it fast enough to do anything with it. But anyway, Eero, I wish I could stay up even later and chat even more, but I have to get some kind of beauty sleep.